Okay, how is that? Looks like the audio is good. Make sure I got the right thing. Hopefully it sounds good. And we'll need to set up my headphones if I can find them. If I can find them. Here they are. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is having a great weekend. We have an interview in about 15 minutes. I'm just getting everything set up, make sure we're good to go. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Or if you want to just chill and have conversations, we can do that as well. But I'm just setting up, making sure everything's good to go for the interview that we got. But yeah, how are the games going for those returning from yesterday's or Thursday's stream? Did you find the reviews helping you out? Are you doing just a little bit better? Hopefully you're doing a little bit better than you were a few days ago. Yeah, welcome everyone. We do have the interview in 15 minutes. Just setting everything up, making sure all the stuff is working. Hopefully my audio sounds good. Want to make sure it's using the microphone and not the webcam audio. Looks like the Discord audio is set up as well. Yeah, hopefully everyone's doing okay. My cat looks like he's completely zoned out looking at the window. What's really funny is the blinds are down, so can't really see anything, but he's fascinated at the light coming through the window. Through the blinds. I don't know why, but he is fascinated at the window right now. I know my weekend's going quite well so far. We will probably have to I made an appointment today to fix the car, so something's wrong with the car. So, but other than that, the weekend's going well. The temperature is feeling really comfortable. It's nice outside weather. You can roll the windows down. Yeah, unfortunately, we will have to take the car in to get it fixed on Wednesday. I expect that to be a couple $100 of repair, so that's unfortunate. I'm envious of countries that have better public transportation. I'm sure you save hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month by not having your own car. So having a car is very expensive. I think between car insurance, car repairs, gas, talking like $500 a month, maybe $400, $500 a month for just the car. And maybe about 300 or 400. Maybe I'm over exaggerating it. I know gas is quite expensive. Well, I'm also doing it for 2 people. Our insurance covers 2 people. Either way, hundreds of dollars. I miss Korea when they had the public transportation. I could literally go an hour away for like $2. Where here it's like $15 to go an hour away to drive my car somewhere. I miss public transportation in Korea. It was so much nicer. No public transportation here, though. We have Uber and stuff, but it's too expensive. Do you guys have a Uber? Is it like $5 to $10 a ride every time you want to go somewhere? Because it is here. It's very expensive to Uber on a regular basis here. And we got about 10 more minutes, 11 more minutes for the interview. Anyone else streaming at the moment? Looks like the AGA is streaming, actually. Oh, the Cherry Blossom Tournament. I forgot Cherry Blossom was in season now. Apparently Fortnite is too. The interview person is one of the winners of the 10Q division of last year's Congress Open. So last year's Congress Open 10Q division, Laurie is one of the winners. And we'll be interviewing them about their Congress experience. What do we got here? No names. Feels important. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I see Go games. I don't know what level they are or who's playing them, but I do see some Go games. Go games are happening. Top 7 boards, video of top 3, live stream of top 7, video of top 3, no commentary. But like, who's playing? I mean, like, if you want to just watch a Go game, I guess that's nice. Is it possible to add names and ranks? Feels important to have names and ranks on the Go board. Oh, there we go. Justin Tang. That is some lag on that video. Looks like they're on the AI Go board. J Tang. Maybe it's not Justin Tang. This might not be Justin Tang. Just J Tang. 5 Dawn, 6 Dawn, and 7 Dawn. It is Justin Tang? I can't tell. It's so blurry. I can't tell. It might be Justin Tang for all I know, but I can't tell. It is Justin. Um, See, I like White's territory, but I hate Black's influence. So on the one hand, it feels like White is in a nice position. On the other hand, influence is very strong. So this is an interesting board. What'll be exciting is to see how the center develops. Let's see, how is this one going? Influence. I think I like Black. Feels like White owes a lot of moves. Yeah, it feels like White's behind a move or something. He's strong. I know you got lessons with the one of the top amateurs, Mark Lee. Where's Mark Lee been? I haven't seen Mark Lee in a minute. This one. That's a knight's move in the center. Pretty close. Computer science. Yeah, that's a lot more lucrative than Go. One thing that I would love to do is make more apps or whatever, but for other things, not just Go. I think that would be a lot of fun. But it'd have to be something that like a million other people couldn't do. Probably at some point, I should learn how to make money from ads. And then I can build me websites that just have ads on them. National Go Center. Is that Garlock, Chris Garlock, that just walked by? I think so. Honestly, I think Justin might win. Black on this left board. They're all pretty close, honestly. All right. Before we get too invested in that, probably get ready to do the interview.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Awesome, how are you?
I am good. How about you?
I am doing well.
Awesome.
Just making sure everything is set up okay.
Okay.
Uh, all right, are we good to do Q&As or are you wanting a game review? I know there both options were mentioned.
I'm not prepared with a game review.
Okay,
So,
I do have a list of Q&A, so we're good.
oh,
I
okay,
just
great.
wanted you to be able to show up and do whatever, and I would handle all the hard stuff.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. This is fun.
Awesome. Do we have some sort of photo or video that we can use?
I do. I have my camera.
We go.
Is that gonna be okay?
Yep, that's perfect. That is
I
perfect.
can unblur, but there's a lot of cats. Could
Oh,
be in the background.
you would get along with my wife. I have a cat sleeping right next to me. So,
Oh, okay.
okay. So if you're good, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Can you introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been playing Go?
Oh yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Laurie Linz, and I have been
Hearthstone just
playing
found.
Go since, well, it's been a couple of decades, probably over 35 years.
Oh, nice. Nice. And what got you into Go? Was it like Hikaru no Go? Was it something else?
A little bit before that, I, at the time, was dating a gentleman. I've since married him, and he is upstairs right now, who was really interested in the game. And he appreciated the aesthetics of like the equipment and the beauty and the simplicity of the game. Introduced me to the game, and I started playing at the Colorado Go Center. If y'all
That's
remember that, if there's anybody around from that time. Where Coors Field is now, there was we shared with an art gallery, and that's where the Go Club was.
nice.
And I have played off and on for basically my entire life.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way. I can definitely sympathize. Does he still play as well?
No.
Oh, unfortunate, unfortunate. Gotta make him go to Go Congress
Yeah.
and make him compete.
Yeah, he thinks it's a very hard game. I don't want to speak for him, but he suggested it's very difficult.
Yeah, I think if it was easy though, it wouldn't be as fun.
True. And people wouldn't stick with it for decades.
Do you still actively try to improve, or are you just satisfied with where you're at right now and just play for fun?
Or satisfied, but I'm also not always actively trying to improve.
Hmm.
Um, that kind of comes into my stories around Go Congress. I played for decades and had never gone to Go Congress.
Hmm.
Um, and we had it's not that I didn't want to go. I just either wasn't feeling close enough to the game, or I didn't have money, or I didn't have vacation time for work or something like that.
Hmm.
So, um, I really kind of got serious about studying in 2019, which was good timing considering the world events that I couldn't have foreseen. But at least that's when I heard about online leagues and joined the Young Sing League, and
Hmm.
started getting back into working on improving. Shortly thereafter, we had this great pandemic thing, and everybody stayed home and worked on their Go game, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, I have had times in my life where I've played more seriously and more competitively.
During those times, how did you usually practice? You mentioned the Yongusang. Was there anything else that you did?
Go Problems. Go John has a lovely school online. There's tons of books. I think Go books are absolutely worth it. I bought an iPad so I could use Go books, just to be able to read and to see the patterns, be able to move the patterns out without getting out of board and setting it up every time you wanted to see something.
Hmm. What would be your favorite Go book?
probably need to recall the title. There's a little yellow one on life and death, and I've
Fundamental.
used it.
Is it the fundamentals
What was
one? Fundamentals of
that?
Go?
Probably. Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's a hard question because Go books, like I also think that the Learn to Play Go series, The Way of the Moving Horse, and that series of books is really accessible to beginners. And some Go books are not always as accessible. How about we say that?
gotcha, gotcha. So you think it might be a different answer depending on what level you're at.
And what you're wanting. If you just want to learn to play the game and enjoy the game, that's a great place to be. It doesn't last long. Just fair warning. Most people eventually want to start studying and figuring out this game. Um, so yeah, I think that just all-time favorite Go book. Man, I'm really gonna have to think about that. That's a tough one because there's many books that seem to resonate given wherever you need to learn at the time.
Are you reading any of the books right now?
I'm not currently reading a Go book.
No worries. All right. So you mentioned going to Congress. Was this your first Congress ever? Or was that the recent Congress that we just competed in?
Actually, I'm trying to represent, you can't really see, I've got my Estes Park shirt on. 2020 was supposed to be Estes Park, except
Mm, yeah.
pandemic came and changed everything. So we did an online Congress that year. And I think there was another online Congress the next year. And then we finally got to do uh my first Go Congress. I also volunteered. Um, but community, when you're part of the community, that's what we do. So
Mhm.
um we went to Estes Park, and since then I have gone to Congress every year since then. I have to think about that because it was Estes and then Kent and then Portland.
Oh, nice. Fun. So we'll be seeing you again this year?
I knew that question was going to come up, but I'm not sure yet. Trying to work it out. Haven't quite figured it out yet, though.
Well, here's hoping. Here's hoping that we can see you there. And then you can win another division, right?
Hopefully.
Easy peasy.
Hope. Yeah,
Um,
easy.
so, uh, how did you feel going into last year's Congress? Did you prepare at all, or were you excited, or were you just happy to have the time off?
Gosh, isn't that how we all feel about Congress most of the time? I had felt more competitive in the previous years. Last year I felt like because it's different when you're in a league and you're playing multiple times a week, or I was doing online lessons with Lance Kemper for a while. You're putting in that work and you're reading and you're making sure you're doing Go problems each day. You're in a different spot than if you just want to show up and have fun. And I feel like last year I was just ready to show up and have fun. I'd worked really hard the previous years and I had disappointing results. So I just showed up to have fun, and I don't know if that was part of it.
Do you think maybe being more relaxed maybe made it easier?
Probably. And I think you put a lot into when you play in league games and you're studying and you're getting your games reviewed all the time. You really care. You
Hmm.
go in and you sit down across the board, and the tension is palpable, and you really care. And at the end of the day, we're playing a game. We
Hmm.
really like playing a game. It's still a game that we all enjoyed, that we were drawn to the game at some point because it just had that joy and that childlike wonder. And then we learned how amazing and complex it was. So I
Yeah.
think that, yeah, maybe being relaxed and taking things less seriously. Possibly I did enter at a lower rank, just because if you're not studying, it's a weird, like everybody probably plays video games here, and you have to kind of keep up with the crowd. And although
Hmm.
you can play in Congress and play at any level with any level of seriousness and have a wonderful time at Congress, the more serious you are, the more hopeful you are that you are going to um, do well.
Hmm. I think I agree. I definitely don't think we should downplay your previous year's efforts, though. I think it's a combination of relaxed plus previous efforts. What do you think?
fair. That's a fair picture for me. I appreciate that. Because yeah, that time does add up. And you kind
Hmm.
of like you will know, I'm sure you see it. People will lose, they'll gain to a certain level of strength and then they'll lose it if they don't study. As we get older, it's harder to hold on to it, to be
Hmm.
fair. Um, so yeah, but I think there's things that you do learn and patterns that you do internalize and that do you build on that and you never lose that.
Yeah, until the AI came out and changed all the patterns, right?
That, that is the not
Or if
it
we're
is a
just
it's a
followed.
very non-trivial detail to our Go game.
Yeah.
And that was fascinating to watch too. That had an interesting kind of convergence in my life. Was making a career change and I was learning to code. So I had a chance to watch that kind of go down from a meager, a beginning idea of engineering and what that must have been like for the team, but also having spent years and years in Go and rooting for the humans. Of course, I'm rooting for the humans.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was an interesting confluence. If you were in the community at the time and watching it play out, it was really fun.
Did you watch it live?
I did, and at the time, Danger Monkey, the Go Club in Denver, the very famous Danger Monkey Go Club, would
Mhm.
have some viewing parties at the time, and then some of them happened. Like I remember having slyly a browser window open at my job because some of it was happening during the day as well.
Okay, I also watched it live, but I didn't tune in until game three because I thought it would be completely one sided in the other direction. I was like, oh, it's gonna be an easy victory. It's just a computer.
Well, and I thought, like, I'm like, I don't think they really know the difference between, because they had done some test games on, like, we're talking the people that are in the top five in the world versus the
Yeah,
people that are not in the top five in the world. And
right.
I think there's still a really tremendous gap in skills. And I'm like, I was stunned too that they were able to get as far I was stunned at the result too. It kind of there was a little bit of it feels like the end of the world too, because this was kind of the last thing. It was this sacred space that computers had not been successful at before.
Hmm. What do you think about having computers access to AI now for the average person?
Fascinating and unfolding conversation. I work in tech, and so we're trying to figure out how that plays out with whatever things we're building.
Hmm.
I think I'm not entirely sure we've settled on where we think AI should be. I think in if it isn't already, most people will be using an AI in their everyday in some form of tool.
Hmm.
I think we're going to see it more, um, kind of like some people were resistant when the internet and accessibility became a thing and people didn't want to actually Google things. I
Hmm.
think we're going to have people that are like, no, I'm not going to do AI for that. And now we can't imagine our life without technology. I think we're going to get into that spot with AI.
Yeah, I think the teaching and learning benefits of it, I think, is really well. The only downside for me is the cheating aspect. But if we could somehow perfect cheating detection, I think chess.com has gotten really good at that. And I'm hoping that we get something like that for Go. And once we do, I think AI will be very good for assisting people in learning the game, hopefully. That's my optimistic view.
Cheating is an interesting thing to me because I love to play the game and
Hmm.
I've worked at times, I have played at times, but I have had so much joy out of learning this game and it's so cool when you get how something goes together. Maybe you're working on
Hmm.
a joseki or you're working on some kind of pattern and you just get how it goes together. And then um it, like you I don't know. It's like this whole other world opens up and you keep learning. And so I know that the world is full of all kinds of people, and some
Hmm.
people would use cheating to gain in competition. But I think the vast majority of people that are drawn to Go are drawn because it is so interesting and so complex and they want to learn it.
Yeah, I agree. I think 99% of people don't cheat. It's just that 1% that ruins it. But I think
And
most people are pretty honest and disciplined.
yeah, and you definitely, when you have something open to everyone, you have to accept everyone, all kinds. But I do
Mhm.
think that the joy in the game is learning the game.
I agree.
And why cheat yourself out of that? And then it wouldn't be any fun. And then you'd have, I don't know, like why do we play to win a competition that it's not like we're going to get the side of a cereal box? Okay, we're playing for our own appreciation and we're playing for the
Mhm.
respect of our peers. At some of the higher ranks, yes, there are some different prizes and things like that, but it seems like a very way to live an inauthentic life.
Mhm. Bringing it back around to the tournament that you performed well in, what was the most challenging game, do you think? Do you remember a specific game out of the ones that you played that was more challenging than the others?
Um, yes, because, the way that Congress is rated, um, like you win your first game and then you play a more difficult opponent. If you lose your first game, you play uh, a less difficult opponent in relative to you. And so I won the first two, and I'm trying to think. Then it got hard. Then I think I had like really good, really competitive opponents, at least for where I was that day, that moment in time. And so I think that the third and the fourth games were really hard and really fun too, because the games that I didn't win, I was feeling like, wow, it's very disappointing to get into tournament play and be like, oh, I totally bumbled the corner.
Mhm.
I I made a mistake and everything slid from there. But to get into a game and feel like, yeah, I did really good and my opponent did really good and it was this great, excellent game and it could have gone either way, that's very rewarding.
Mhm. I think those are the best ones to win, is when it's like super challenging and then you barely pull ahead.
Super
Um,
challenging and you could go either way and something happens and you're like, oh, look at that. And then
yeah,
something
getting
else
rewarded
happens.
for your hard effort, I think, is one of the best feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, So, keeping in mind that you mentioned you studied previous years and this one you didn't prepare as much, did you prepare like in between games? Did you study in between games, like get your games reviewed at all?
To get my games reviews, it's Congress. You gotta. It's like it's just doing. I did play in some of the self-paired. Um, I also really enjoy the things around Congress because you bring a lot of cognition and you bring a lot of mental effort to the board, and then to be
Hmm.
able to like we went to the farmers market or to just check out and go for a walk with your girlfriends for a while, go get
Hmm.
some good food or something, is it's really good too. But yeah, I love to get reviews and I love to sit in on lectures. Like there's so many lectures and there's so many interesting things going on, and you want to get to your games, you want to get to the lectures, and you also want to get some time to stare at the wall or
Hmm.
decompress somehow. So yeah, there's so much going on, and I do appreciate game reviews and all of the other things that are happening at Congress.
Hmm. Was there any particular advice or strategy that you were given that you think helped you perform well? Any tips that you like really resonated with?
And I'd be saying if I did saying I wasn't as prepared, I did do a few private lessons with Lance Kemper
Mhm.
beforehand.
Is
And
that Shy Ghost or is that a different
yeah,
Lance? Oh,
yep,
nice.
same gentleman. Fun go teacher. And what's really interesting is I found that I had a few lessons and they were powerful. And I could remember things like don't defend a group that's not under attack.
Hmm.
And super simple things that if you told me the same thing when I was playing in the league and doing all the studying, I don't know, it felt more crowded and it didn't feel, there's some things in Go that you can capitalize on the simplicity.
Hmm. Do you think receiving less information lets you focus a little bit more on the key points that you do get? Maybe it's
I
just
think it's
easier to
getting
deal with
frustrated.
less information.
I think it's targeted key information. The one thing with like I think that there's great ways to learn Go. You
Hmm.
can join a league, you can watch streamers, you can just play, you can pound out 1,000 games. You'll get good at it if you do that. Might
Hmm.
not be as fun as some of the other methods. But I think having uh, some one-on-one attention and having the person give you the right kind of advice for where you are in that very moment,
Hmm.
and it's not cookie cutter and it's not something that works for everybody, but to be able to have someone give you the exact right thing that you need to work on, I think is really helpful to growing and Go.
Awesome. So you would encourage lessons?
Lessons or game reviews
Hmm.
or having a friend that's stronger than you that's willing to play the game with you and then talk to you about it. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Until you get stronger than them, unfortunately. That's how it went for me. I had a Go Club members, and they were much stronger than me, give me advice every week, and then I got stronger than they did, and I'm like, well, now I'm not improving as fast. I ran out of people stronger.
Now you get the joy of helping them though too.
I do.
And then
I made a career out of helping other people, so I'm very I guess I should be happy considering the choices that I've made, but it's definitely enjoyed. I think my greatest joy is seeing students get to Don level that I've been teaching since like double digit Q. And I think sometimes I might be happier than they are about them getting to Don level.
now they're looking at the next step.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yay, you did it. You made this you know, plateau, not even
Hmm.
plateau, like you made this milestone. You've made
Hmm.
this delineation here." So yeah.
Yeah, I think
And they just want to
there's,
get better, but then they're hooked and they want to get better from there.
yeah, I think I have met a couple Don players that are like, okay, this is too exhausting now. Because it just gets so much harder. I think on the one hand, it's very exciting. You just have so much knowledge, so many like strategies to implement. But on the other hand, it's like if you don't think about like 10 different things and you mess up one of those things, you insta lose. So a lot of the times it can be a balance of I'm really happy with how strong I am and versus I don't like how hard the game is now. Because if you slack off, then you just lose. So I've seen a couple. I've seen both types of Dom players, I think. But I honestly am just happy when my students improve. I think the teacher and student relationship is something I value a lot.
Yeah, I think that it's we play like in if you're describing Go to somebody that doesn't know, well,
Mhm.
you can say things like it's ranked, so you can play competitively, so you can always see your progress. It can be handicapped, so you can have people play a great game against each other of different strengths. These are
Mhm.
great qualities in a game, and to be able to use both of those tools and to gauge improvement is a very rewarding thing. I think humans are happy when we get to see improvement and progress, and I think Go is a great way to do that. There's times when you're really trying to improve and it seems frustrating too, and it doesn't seem as fast as you would like or harder or whatever. So you
Mhm.
get both sides of that, but it can be very gratifying that way.
So you mentioned getting lessons at Go Congress. Was there any specific professional that you got game reviews from, or did you go to multiple professionals? And do you have a favorite professional that you went to, or a favorite teacher, I suppose?
That's so hard because at Go Congress, um, some people give amazing lectures or have written amazing books and they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yang is there and like um any year you can have any person that has like a pretty substantial like portfolio to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Um so there I think but I think to have a favorite it's folks that you've worked with personally. I was in the Young Gusang League and spent a considerable amount with Insong. I think he gives great advice and has great methods to help people move up. Like I said, I enjoy working with Lance because Lance can give you the right kind of
Mm-hmm.
um just absolutely the right thing at the right time. But being able to go to Congress and play against somebody that has been competitive or written volumes and volumes of books, to do a simul game with a pro. Like, these are fascinating things that there isn't any other game in the world where I think we get to mix on this level.
Mhm. Yeah, uh I'm very much hoping that I know we're doing a lot of promotion this year for Congress. And one of the big things that I like is just being surrounded by the same community that likes Go as much as I do. And I really hope that all this promotion that we do really makes a big impact for the same reason that you just said, just more people to be around. And I think the social aspect is what makes Go like so great. Part like of course the beauty of it, but also like-minded individuals learning it with you, I think.
And you can be anywhere on your journey and still
Hmm.
have fun. Um, you can go to the coffee shop on the Go board and spend an afternoon there with a good friend, and that's a great day. You can also play competitively and really try to crush it in the open. And everybody's welcome. And there's
Hmm.
no um I find going to the Go Congress is really refreshing in the sense that not everybody knows what Go is. And when
Hmm.
you tell people about this wonderful hobby you have, a lot of times people who are not in the community just look at you quizzically. So to have a week where you don't have to explain to anybody what this weird thing is that you really enjoy
Yeah,
doing is fun. And to be
it's not
around people
Othello.
that, yeah, it's not Othello, and no, it's not chess, but there's a lot of things that are like chess that are involved in it. And
Hmm.
yeah, and then to be around those people basically 24/7. You go to lunch, you're talking about the game, you're talking about what just happened, you're talking about their life and their world, and then you're back to the game. It's a great time.
Yeah, I agree. So is this now that you've gotten this far and Go and you've gotten the what place did you get exactly? Because it said you were one of the winners.
Placed second in the 10Q.
Gotcha. Do you have another goal to go beyond that? Are you going to try to go to 9Q or single digit Q next?
Um, yeah, I've actually spent most of my life at an AGA 7 or 8 or even 9, so I'm hoping to get back there.
Hmm.
I would absolutely love to be a Dawn level player someday.
Hmm.
I need to make space in my life to be able to do that. I don't know what that looks like for me.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that want to become Dom players, and I'm like, okay, first thing you do is don't have a job. That's definitely helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that's an important point, like we can make light of it, but
Hmm.
sometimes if you have a job that takes a lot of concentration and a lot of cognition
Hmm.
to go to work your 8 or 9 hours and then go play a serious game,
Hmm.
there's challenges with that. I have found that I don't always have the focus and the concentration to play after work.
Hmm.
And then if you're in that place in your life, it's going to be hard to grow and go. I'm too young to retire. I still love my work though, too.
Hmm.
Um, but to be able to get really, I think I would need to be able to spend 2, maybe 3, or easily 5 hours a day to make a
Hmm.
serious bid for it. I think 5 hours a day would be good. 3 hours, I might be able to do it in 2 or 3. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you see people have to put in? You're the
Uh,
professional.
I think if you're putting in effort every day, probably more than 1 hour a day. I think 3 to 5 hours is a good number to aim for. I think that's reasonable as an adult. I think it's hard but possible, unlike a lot of kids where they'll just put 8 to 10 hours a day. And of course, they'll get it much faster. But we don't have 10 hours that we can just invest into a game in addition to our full time jobs. So I think 3 to 5 hours is definitely possible. And if we're just aiming for one dawn and not like 7 dawn or 8 dawn, I think it's very doable. Just a matter of discipline, lots of effort, a lot of mental stuff too. I've seen a lot of mental blocks that you have to overcome at single digit Q. But usually, I think it's very possible if you could do like 3 to 5 hours a day, even 3 hours a day. If you were doing it every single day, maybe take one day off a week and just do Go problems and play games, review the games every single day for like 3 years or something. I think it's very possible to get Dawn level. Um, can everyone do it? Hard to say, but I think it's possible.
What do you see in the mental blocks? Can you say a little bit more about that? What do
Um,
people?
I've seen several things. Some of which can be discipline, some of which can be too much discipline, like you're so hardcore on yourself that you're not forgiving for your own
Mm,
mistakes, and that kind of like limits your ability to learn from it. So like if you play a bad game, you're like frustrated so much that it affects your next 3 games. Like obviously that's not good. So you have to find a way to just be able to lose effectively and efficiently because you don't want it to affect your next game, but also it needs to hurt just a little bit so that way you learn from it and remember it. But if it hurts too much, it's not good. And then you have the other side where they just don't take it seriously enough. They're like, oh, I'm going to play like 2 games a week and I'm going to get to Dawn level. And I'm like, you got to play more than 2 games a week. So you got to do more than that. So I think a lot of it is discipline and mental fortitude is probably the 2 big ones that I see most common.
yeah. Okay. And we've all been in the spiral where you blow
Mhm.
it, you make a mistake, or you played really hard and you lost by a point and a half.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
the worst feeling, but also there's something to be said about that is such a good thing though. The thing is you got to think of Go like a conversation between you and your opponent, and you just had an amazing conversation. Maybe you came out a couple points behind, but it was still an amazing conversation. But for some
great
reason that one hurts the most. That one's the one that's so hard to handle, but that one's also like really really good for you, I think.
Yeah, you walk away feeling like you learned a lot and respect for your conversation partner there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always frustrating to count that up and to be, wait a minute, I want to count it one more time.
Yeah. Let me double check that we just counted this correctly.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Especially the half-point games, you're like, hold on, let me recount, just in case.
Yeah.
Um, so along those lines, how do you think, or what advice do you think you would give to other players who want to improve? And let's narrow it down to the double-digit Q players. What do you think that they should do, like the average person?
Play a lot of Go. I
Hmm.
think you need to play, and you need to play. I think there has to be, I think we've all done it, and particularly with online Go, it's easy to get in a place where you're not very focused and you're just throwing stones at a board. That's not what was going to get you better.
Hmm.
The times when you're giving 100% of your attention to the game and then you're willing to look at it after, I think is really what's going to help the most.
Hmm.
Obviously, learning patterns and things like that won't hurt, but it's kind of one of those things that you're going to get more out of playing and finding out what trips you up, what holes you're falling into,
Hmm.
what patterns you're messing up that other people that play at your same level are not messing up. That's where you're going to get your information.
I agree. I completely agree. Doesn't matter how much you exercise. If you don't shoot the ball, you ain't going to be good at basketball. You can exercise
Yeah,
all day long, but it doesn't make you magically good at playing basketball. Um, I
that's a
com-
great.
I completely agree. It's one of my number one advices that I give to double digit Qs is how many games are you playing? Are you playing enough? Play games. Try playing games more than 5 games, more than 2 games a week, or more than 5 games a week. Try actually playing the game. So
And
I completely agree.
yeah, I play a lot of I play the correspondence games,
Mm.
and you just woke up and you haven't really done anything and you're half asleep and you throw a few stones. That is not going to improve my game.
Mhm.
It might improve my life because I get the joy of playing this game in small moments throughout the day, but it is not going to improve my game.
Nice. So I was actually about to ask you like what your opinion was on correspondence as soon as you mentioned it, but I think I really liked that what you just said, where it won't improve your game, but it can improve your life because it just brings you joy to do it. Which I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna use that for future times when I have to answer what I think about correspondence. I'm like, well, I think it improves your life. It won't improve your game, but I think it improves your life if you enjoy it. I'm gonna use that.
it gives you a chance. Like, I think we all get into a different relationship if we play competitive at all with the clock.
Hmm.
And if you're a beginner, the clock seems like it has an infinite amount of time on it because you don't know what you're thinking about in all that time. And then as you start training and you understand what you need to be thinking about, then the relationship with the clock can get kind of contentious. When you go into a a game that is you have a day to send a move, you could conceivably spend 6 hours thinking about that move and not be hindering your opponent. We don't. So I think correspondence games are interesting because they do have that mix of maybe you were feeling really good and you were really sharp in that moment, or you were in line at the grocery store and you played too fast. And you get a little bit both in all of the games. And sometimes you get some things that won't happen across a live board because it was missed because of the nature of correspondence or playing too fast or distracted. But other times you get some situations you can really think about.
Mhm.
And you maybe you really want to think about it, or maybe you want to it encourages you to review that Go problem that looks kind of like this. It's never always the same, but maybe you want to think about it for a little bit longer and you have the time to do that.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. Um, once again, bringing it back around to Congress, you mentioned that you're still on the fence, but if you choose to go to Congress, what is the thing that you're looking forward to the most?
Community. I think if I know enough people because I played
Hmm.
in the same geographical area for a while, so you tend to know people and kind of and then if you play online, you're going to meet people in real life, and it's really fun to kind of know the person behind the handle.
Hmm.
Um, that's always fun, and it's fun to see year after year seeing people and forming those relationships of maybe the only time you've ever spent with this person is at Congress, but you really enjoy their company and want to go hang out and spend time with these people that you then won't see again for a year.
Hmm. Yeah. I think there's people I look forward to seeing as well. People I haven't seen it for several years, honestly, sometimes. And then it's like, oh, hey, so how you been? I haven't seen you since yesterday. The kind of feeling.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity if you want to sharpen your game. Like, I don't want to suggest that people should only go to Congress if they feel like they want to compete and want to sharpen their game, because I think
Hmm.
Congress is a great place to go if you just want to have the joy of the game in your life and you want to be around other people that want to learn and be interested and get a chance to meet people that write books and people that stream about it and people that teach. It's a great
Hmm.
place to be.
Yeah. So you don't think there's a minimum level requirement to go, correct?
I don't think so. Don't we have like a 25 or 30 Q
Hmm.
level at
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know who the weakest player at Congress is, but I'm pretty sure I have heard there are people that had just learned the rules and like, oh, there's this big Go event. I just learned the rules of the game within the last month, and they're like, oh, I want to go see what this is about, and they'll walk in and try to do stuff.
he's a special kind of person, and I think that's a great kind of person. And it is like if you think about it, we all go to some city in the US and we
Hmm.
spend 7 full days playing our game. It's kind of a commitment. Uh, once you play the game and you realize like how hard 1 or 2 games a day is,
Hmm.
you realize why it's structured the way it is. But I admire people that just learn the game and they're willing to go big or go home and jump into Congress. That's fascinating.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's really cool as well. Um, Kind of bringing it all to a close here. What tips and advice or comments do you have for maybe the people watching this video in the future and their Go players? What comments do you have for them going forward?
Yeah. Um, keep learning, keep trying, but also give yourself that grace and that forgiveness. Because if you get frustrated about it, it's not going to help. And then you're going to try to study, you're going to try to rage study, and that doesn't work. um, so yeah, and just to take it, it's like fitness. You have to remember what you're training for. And if you're training to improve and you want to try to get 6, 7 dawn and you want to play with the best, then that's a different goal than I want to reach 1 Dan because it gets more interesting. I want to reach 5Q because it's more interesting there than it is here. I think just keeping in mind what your goals are and keeping your actions in line with your goals. Like you'd mentioned, if someone
Mhm.
wanted to be a Dan player but only wants to spend 2 hours a week on it, probably not going to happen, and that's fine. Just be in alignment with that.
Mhm. And would you recommend them to attend Congress?
I recommend anybody to attend Congress. If you're playing seriously, it's a great place to be able to play seriously and play seriously with people all day. If you're playing friendly, you're going to find a lot of other friends that just want to play friendly too. So it's a great place to be.
Well, probably, I think that was my last question. I want to say I greatly appreciate you getting on here and doing this interview. I think a lot of people probably enjoyed or will enjoy hearing your story and how you do and what your opinions are on it. And I just want to thank you so much for the time to get on here.
Thank you for having me. I really
Mm.
appreciate it. Thank you for considering it.
Yeah. With that, do you have any closing comments or do you want to just go ahead and wrap it up?
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you as well. Thank you so much again. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. And that was it for the interview. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed that. This interview will go up on my YouTube channel within the next several days. I just have to make a thumbnail and write a description for it and get it uploaded and yada yada. But it will end up on my YouTube channel as well. So if you missed the first bit of it, just check it maybe in a few days and it should be on my YouTube channel. But hopefully, you guys enjoyed the interview. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today because that was kind of our big thing today. It's not open reviews, unfortunately, since technically today's my day off. But I hope you guys did enjoy the whole interview and everything. And with that, I will see you guys hopefully once again next week and get back into more open reviews. And then next month, we'll have someone else to interview. We're going to do interviews maybe once a month. I think we're going to do an interview different people once a month up until we get all the way to Congress. And then hopefully, if it goes well, then we'll also have this next year as well. With that, let's go ahead and raid Go Dave, I think. I think that'll be a good one to do. It's doing Go problems, not on Sumego Dragon. Well, with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's stream, and I will see you guys next time.